Hey everyone, hey, today we're in an attic. It's in a custom home we're building right now. And you can see the spray foam that's all up here around me. We've talked about it in the past. We've also talked about dehumidifiers and why we put them in there. But today I want to actually show you a dehumidifier. We're going to show you how it's actually put together and go into more detail on how we do it and why we do it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're up here in the attic. Custom home. You can look up around here and you can see all of this spray foam insulation. And this is up against the roof sheeting. And we do this for a couple reasons. The first one is it's excellent as far as performing well as far as energy efficiency. So the air doesn't get through this. So you save a lot on your utilities. Another reason that's really important is actually for high wildland fire, extreme fire zones that have a they have a real concern for getting embers inside of your attic space. And that's one of the things that actually burns homes down is if you get embers that fly in through vents. And if you have O'Hagan roof vents, you can get ones that are fire rated, where they have like 1/4 inch mesh, or they have baffles in them where the embers won't blow in. But this is even better because what we can do is we can actually use a spray foam insulation all up inside, everything, the entire roof sheeting all throughout the house, the garage, and everywhere. And we're not required to ventilate the attic because the attic is a semi-conditioned space. So we do it all the way down. You can actually look over here to my left and you can see the gable end on the roof, on the wall out there. That is actually all the way down to the plate line of the extra walls. You're going to see that there as well. So that's less insulation on that end, but you don't have to have your gable end vents, so there's no issue with getting any embers into the structure. So those are two really important reasons that we do this. The one concern with that though is actually dealing with actual humidity inside of the attic space. And when you have your living space down below, you're cooking, you're showering, and you have hot moist air that's in the home and it's rising and it gets up into this space in the attic, even though it's semi-conditioned because you have your HVAC system down below, you don't get the air movement like you should up into the attic space. And so we don't want to have any issues with moisture that would possibly create rot or mold inside of the attic space itself. So one thing that we do is we put these dehumidifiers in, and this allows that to solve that problem. So this particular dehumidifier, it's a Santa Fe dehumidifier. The model number on this one is, what is it? Santa Fe Ultra 70H that we put in here. And the way that these things work is they have an intake on the side here. And if you could actually look into this, what you would see was you would see that they have it's like a filter, just like you would have in your HVAC unit or your furnace inside of your home. And that goes in here and filters out this air. And that air ends up pushing out this duct here. And then what we've done is, you can't see this very well, but behind this there's a Y right here, and that Y takes off and then goes and actually runs back behind me, and then it dumps out over here. And they put a grill on the end of that, like a mesh on the end, to keep anything from getting up into that duct. But the idea is that it pushes the air toward this side of the house and starts to move some airflow around, so it's dehumidifying. It also takes off and goes that direction, the opposite direction, and points into the other area of the home that you can see out beyond this way. And that helps to control the humidity on that end of the home. So on the other end over here, kind of by the intake, they have a control. This is all on a Humidistat, so it'll kick on at certain, whatever your setting is you want it. There's a setting on here that actually says humid, and it says normal, and it says drier. And you can decide what you want this to be, and that controls when this will kick on and how often it'll actually run. So it just operates off of a 3-prong plug. You can see right here, plugged in, and it works super well. So the other thing that we have here too is you can see the condensate line back behind me. This is actually from the moisture that's pulling out of the air. It has to run down here, it goes down, and then the primary condensate that comes out of the actual furnace here, that's tied in there. It tees in at the bottom, and you can see that down over here, and then it takes off and runs out and down into a drain that the plumber will tie in, probably at a sink down below in a bathroom area. So that's what you can see here. This is the primary area of the home. We're actually going to go over and we're going to look at it from a different angle in the garage, because in the garage space it's separated off by a firewall, and that firewall now stops the airflow going from how this is being conditioned here It's not getting conditioned in the garage, so we got to go over there and I'll show you what's going on that side. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that right now. All right, so we made it up here to the attic over in the garage. So we were talking about how the firewall, you actually see behind me here, this is on the other side, there's a firewall. And that firewall separates off the house from the garage. So that airspace is not, it's not allowing the air to move back and forth between the house and the garage. So what we're looking at here is we got another dehumidifier sitting right here. It's exact same unit, the Santa Fe unit we talked about on the other side over there. And when we were on the other side, you couldn't really see the intake very well. But on this side, you can. And you can see this is where the air comes in, and you can see this filter in here. It looks very similar to something you pick up down there at Home Depot to replace inside of your HVAC unit. So you can see that, and then you can see this condensate line a lot better where this is coming out. And this takes off and runs right here, just 3/4 inch PVC, and it runs down to a sink that you can see right there. It goes down through the top plate and into a sink down inside the garage. So next thing you can see a little bit better here too, I'm going to walk over here. Take a look at this. But over here, this is the end of that duct, and what they've done is they got a zip tie running around here, and then this has some mesh on it here, and that keeps anything from getting up in there, any critters from getting up inside that thing. So that's how they do that. Then that duct, you can see it running back over here, and it attaches to this main line here coming out. And then it comes up and it Y's right here. And then you can see this one actually goes to the big RV bay on the other side. So they've used this one unit here to supply and take care of this 2-car garage plus the RV bay that's on the other side. So this is how it goes out here. And then this is terminated in here, so the airflow inside this one is taken care of with that one. So it's directing that dehumidified air. All right, so another thing that you can see over here from the garage side is this actual Humidistat switch that's on the bottom down here. So you look here, it's actually a little dial, and it says normal or humid, normal, and dryer. And you turn this here, and that adjusts the Humidistat to whatever setting you want it to be at. So that's one way you can control when it kicks on and when it kicks off. And then that controls how much moisture is going down and out and down into that sink below through that condensate line. All right, well, I hope you learned something new about spray foam insulation and these dehumidifiers we put up here in the attics. If you'd like more information about building a custom home or an ADU, visit our website at freemansconstruction.com. Get a ton of information there. Go to our resources page. We have pricing, floor plans, you name it, it's there. We have a huge FAQ section that'll answer a lot of your questions that you got. So thanks again, and we'll see you again soon.